Okay, it's me. Hello. How's everybody doing? Good to see all of you. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Today, build science. Um, I happen to be up too late theory crafting in other games, and I got the blessed ping from Mr. Stone underscore Swan. Um, about a mod that could be interesting for content, and it's one that makes hot drop artifact work properly in low grav zones. Also includes a similar fix for the shooting star shield in weird terrain areas. But I want to focus on the hot drop side of things. So, since I don't have a save prepared for this ahead of time, I'm gonna have to like put this together on the fly. It's gonna take a little bit, but making a build from the ground up. How we doing, Mr. Madness? What's this? BL3? It's Ubsy. Yeah, I've been doing BL3 this week. I got the itch. I felt like it. It's kind of like my default state of being between, like, other games, you know? I have no idea what's going on this save normally. Manuel, static charge. Oh, I already have a hot drop. The safe Goward. Hot drop Vikra should be better. I already got a green monster with, like, the ideal passives for what I was gonna do. This is perfect, actually. This is perfect. I chose the correct save completely by accident. Question is what I do for shield slot. BO3 gaming? Yeah, how you doing, Sinju? Been a minute. Hope you're well. Mana well makes a lot of sense. I guess figuring out skill tree first is the most important thing. Just do all caps hot drop. We gotta figure out the drip as well. Where's the new helmet? The new head. Part of the list is that in? At the bottom? Oh yeah, there we go. Undead doc. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. So Skagden, PCP, stainless steel barrier. That's simple enough. Probably. Okay, so the question is whether I want to go for downtime for big surplus or uptime for other effects. Um, Figuring out what my annoyance are gonna be. So, like, cycling ASEs is gonna be fucking horrible without flame calm. Unless I went all in on cooldown with max limit break. I got enough kills with 4 to 5 points in Grizzled. I maintained good topped off uptime. Like, in that situation, I guess I could somewhat reasonably cycle an ASE effect. Do I go this far down purple? If I take superior firepower, that would be really nice for any radiation dots I apply. It'd be good if I have a cryo bonus element. It'd be good if I use a cryo grenade. 21 points to get there. Take that because I know I'm going to. This helps me keep a better mental idea of how many points I have left. Normally I do this in the Loot Lemon planner, but I figure for the benefit of content, we do it live. Hey, Higgy Britt, how are you? Um, let's see. The biggest things with the foundation of Moze builds is deciding whether what you're doing with your action skill, what you're doing with your annoyance, what you're doing with your class bond. Everything else kind of cascades from there. So I guess if I'm doing Green Monster, I won't be shooting for Cloud of Lead. But I suppose maybe I could use those points to benefit Cub. We'll do that. We'll do Stroke the Embers. Again, Green Monster means I wouldn't be weapon swapping. So we go with the 5th Cloud of Lead. Okay, 37 points. That does leave me enough to get Superior Firepower, Limit Break. And then I could go down to Short Fuse, but I think more realistically I would grab to the last. But then again, if I'm already doing Green Monster, then getting Short Fuse and throwing Hunter Seekers makes the most sense to me. We are Brush and Offensive. I get anything on a Holy Pin? Not really. We'll grab one. Uptime or downtime? Uptime or downtime? Moose. How you doing, Jaybridge? We'll go downtime. So I don't want anything that makes Bear stick around longer. Yeah, I'm going to Short Fuse. I'm going to Short Fuse. Shit skill, but it's funny here. The biofuel would benefit me a little bit. I don't want Cub to get in the way of blowing itself up. Not far enough down Green Tree to get Molten Roar. I end up going there. I think I can still get away with biofuel, probably. We'll see. I wish Explosive Fury worked. You remember the, like, 20 minutes of Copium that they'd fix this skill when we got a patch for this game in 2023? It has been broken for 3 full years. Don't remember that? Maybe that was just my Copium. Yeah, the skill tree is gonna look weird because I'm intentionally avoiding some good things. It doesn't leave me enough to get to EM. Do I go URAD on this? This is like a questionable thing to go URAD on. If I run a Beskar though, it'd probably be okay. 5 armored infantry, 2 thin red line. No, I would need 3 thin red line. Okay. I know what I'll do. Terra Cryo is more optimal than URAD. But that's a problem for not me. My baby nukes? No, no I don't. Yeah, I do. What's Hot Drop Moze? So the Hot Drop artifact on the character Moze. We're gonna ground slam with some fireballs, but thanks to a mod, we'll be able to do it in the Guardian Takedown, which a sort of quirk of how the gravity works in the game prevented that from working. How you doing, Mr. Sean? Yeah, I should probably turn on EchoCast. I'm making a lot of skill tree choices here that pain me from the theory crafting side of things. Like what you should and shouldn't do on Moze in general. It hurts a little bit. Yeah, so not taking Russian offensive does free me up to 3 thin red line. Okay, it's the idea here. URAD GA. I have a Rhino. What was bro cooking? I don't know what bro was cooking. It's me. I'm bro. I need a Beskar. I'm gonna run a Beskar with that annoyed. Hey, it's me, your bro. Yep, we go there. And I'll need to swap that to Vic Crush. Okay. To force a save. What did I name this save? Oh yeah, it's Hot Drop in all caps. Right. Is that in the list, or do I have to reopen this thing? Don't mind me. I have too many saves. I'm in too deep to do anything about it now, so I just have to scroll every time.
She's just a girl and she's on fire. There you go, Quack.
Hey, Jester.
Cheers.
Cheers to you as well. Thank you so much for the 2 years. That rhymes with cheers. Amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Hope you're doing wonderfully. Okay, so we're going Hot Drop, Vic Rush. I could have done Deathless and avoided the thin red line points, but this makes me happier. I could still do that, to be honest, but Vic Rush for damage. We'll go with the good old double move speed, area damage approach. Beskar. Need reflect. Can get shield charges. It does. Yeah, reflect shield charge. Look, it's Kevin. Kevin says hi. Beef, how you doing? Makes me so happy. Sucks I have yard work to do. Kind of quagga days you have a good friend. We're doing hot drop Moze while we throw some grenades in the background. Imagine not needing a cooldown passive. I'm actively avoiding cooldown on this setup because I get damage for not having my action skill. Because Moze is a balanced character. In fact, I'll probably be turning topped off. Um, yeah, we'll do that. Not me reflexively copying the item code, like that's still how we do things. Olch. Need Cryo Hunter Seeker. Actually toxic. Moe's moment, man. Yeah, this is Moe's one idea. Had a lot lacked the patience to think through. To min-max melee and slam, you'd be doing different things. Because the way you get damage out of slams is the things that are caused by the slam, not the slam itself. So I'd probably separate those out into different setups. Like, it's possible to get some overlap. That puts me back to default head. I guess the save editor doesn't recognize the new head. It's possible to get some overlap if you did something like a spark plug static charge. Then that would be benefiting both the slam and the melee side of things. You'd make some conflicting choices though. Slam Moze is very ludicrously powerful. Melee, less so. Do I have an OPQ system? No idea. Okay, this should be good. Topped off is off. Not a lot of bulk, but like that'll keep it interesting. Okay, let's see how this works out. The intent is to test this in Guardian Takedown, but first, work our way up. I'm having audio issues today. Everything's super loud for me, but it's super quiet for you guys. the meh, that's fine. Okay, so I do have Cobb. The idea here is as with a lot of big surplus setups, Cobb blows itself up, so I get damage. That's still working. Stupid fire heavy. Imagine if Moze had cleared the mine. Sorry, I'll stop bullying Amara. The way we set up our skill tree here is not only have we pumped a lot of damage into the hot drop itself, supported it with bonus elements. Hunter Seekers are also doing a lot of damage, and they're short fusing, and then that short fuse is getting a lot of damage. So like, this is good card damage. And then it's 3 drones shooting that can all individually short fuse, you know, obviously respecting the cooldown and stuff. The bullets are getting green monster, and then the short fuse is also getting green monster. The bullets and short fuse are separately getting big surplus. They're separately getting URAD. Short fuse is getting skag done. You know, all the usual stuff. Short fuse broken, as usual. I switch to grass and turn off Groundbreaker on my slam builds just to see what the slam stuff is doing. Oopsie. Yeah, the slam itself is not a negligible amount of damage thanks to the artifact. Hot Drop and Spark Plug are really, really good. Still somehow slept on. I need to stop blowing myself up. See, it's my fault. I'll do it. Hey, Renegade. What's going on here? Hot drop artifact stuff on Moze. Ground slam and grenade build. You know, I've done a few of these, but made one specifically around the hot drop today, so that we can test that out with a mod that allows the hot drop projectiles to function in the Guardian takedown, which is something that does not happen in the base game because of how the gravity works. The red explosion booms. It doesn't get old. Hot drop, thought that was a throwaway artifact. What made you think that? Hot drop, spark plug, and to a somewhat lesser extent, ice spiker are powerful enough to be like primary damage outlets in builds. Even on Zane, the character that supports it least, it is a competitive option for a primary damage dealing outlet. There was a period of time where I held all Proving Ground and Circle of Slaughter records on Zane at the same time with a build that just used Pets and either Spark Plug or Hot Drop depending on content. I think I'm still like 4th place in that category with that. Ice Spiker's even strong on Freeze Woden. Yeah, Ice Spiker's especially interesting. Like, each of the 3 slam artifacts has different things that make it interesting. Like, Hot Drop Fireballs are splash, which that's where you pivot and you spiral off into crazy shit with. Spark plug ones can go through terrain and they linger and they can crit. And then Ice Spiker is an Amara action skill. Were my eyes not assaulted enough yesterday? They weren't. And yeah, you heard me correctly. Ice Spiker is an Amara action skill. It's weird. Slam radius is funny. Tried it out, didn't do much. That being said, I've never made a build around it. Okay, well that's the thing. A lot of the things that get underestimated in this game are because the default instinct of players to, you know, write off items without investment takes over. Like, I feel like more people know to not do that with guns. Like, some guns will require you to do something specific, right? We'll just apply that logic to anything that deals damage. Like, how do you get damage out of something? Like, you don't expect your guns to do damage without boosting gun damage, right? So, like, why would an artifact be different, you know? That's how I look at it anyway. In considering making an additional slam build? Ooh. Love to hear that. Their slam damage increases the higher you slam from. I didn't, actually. Actually, no, I did. I did know that, but I forgot it. Because they tell you that during, like, the slam tutorial. Which is one of, like, 2 to 3 times in the entire game they tell you to ground slam. A lot of people forget UTD applies to slam and rocket jumping exists. Yeah, the big thing with UTD applying to slam is, like, it's not as easy to get a big base hit with slam as it is with other stuff, but obviously that doesn't include efforts to make the slam itself bigger. I wonder. Because, like, ground slam gets splash damage. It's the only multi-target vector for Groundbreaker. Applies UTD to multiple targets in an AoE. Like, yeah, if you can get enough height consistently, which shouldn't really be difficult. I suppose the concern is, if you boost your splash damage too much on, say, Moze, and Amara has this problem too, actually, because of the dots. You'd have to restrict your bonus elements. Even like a level 1 plumage can just kill you. True, I guess because I was playing on Moze and already had global boosts that it was getting. Yeah, like, same as with guns. Field damage effects need investment, and some are better than others. Same with ground slam damage effects, same with grenade damage effects, same with action skill damage effects. The reason why you'll see so many people jerk off how OP Iron Bear is because you don't really need to actively invest to get to a level of power where Iron Bear can clear content by itself. Iron Bear is weaker than most other damage dealing action skills. If you look at overall damage dealt, it's weaker. That's just how it is. That's not a sentence that makes you a lot of friends, but it's true. It's just you don't have to know what's under the hood for Iron Bear to do its thing. You can apply that same logic to, like, every other gear slot. Lit of damage in the game. The easier it is to do damage with, the more people will believe it does damage. I know about Sparkplug though. I'm a fiend. Hell yeah, Sparkplug is crazy. I have spent too many hours spark plugging. Just it, it's there was a phase of build crafting where I had to actively fight to not put spark plug on every build. Like I want to say for a couple months I was doing Beskar spark plug on like everything. I trade secret. Experience a splug lasting longer than 8 hours. It's almost too strong with how knowledgeable we are these days. Yeah, it's one of those things that can go under the radar if you. I didn't hit the true switch, did I? Sorry, I don't know what I was saying. I just got distracted by it. No, I did. Huh. I didn't expect that much damage. Like, sometimes I forget. Moze is Moze. That's my bad. Yeah, just normal Moze war crimes. Try it with no nades? Okay. Well, I'll wait for that one to expire. Maybe this is why they don't let you hot drop in here. Try it with less Moze. Hush you. Like, unironically, what if they saw hot drop wasn't working here and were like, that's for the best? It's definitely not the case, but I like to imagine a timeline where it is. Gonna be Juicy versus the boss of their larger hitboxes. Oh yeah, we definitely like one slam each phase of Anathema, right? Oh, I'm gonna be doing that for work. Keep in mind that this is only working in this particular piece of content because of a mod. Not to increase the damage or anything, but hot drop projectiles are affected by gravity. And since GTD has low gravity, basically the bombs fall and they fizzle out before they hit the ground because they're in the air for longer and they did not make it so that the projectiles last long enough. Yeah, this mod just makes them last longer. It's the exact damage you would see if they had accounted for low grav areas. Drop was a launch item, and of the 3 low grav maps in the game, only one of them was in at launch. And it's a part of the story that you didn't have an artifact slot in. So it doesn't surprise me this went under the radar. The last Moose thing I was doing was Bloodletter Creamer before I took a long BL3 hiatus. I do like the idea of just doing a setup abusing the Creamer like that. Because, like, obviously people know how crazy the Creamer is on Zane with Eraser. But it's just really good on other characters, too, when used as intended. Maybe I'd do that at some point. It's kind of slow. Hunter Secret does a lot to help the clear time. Well, I'm waiting for the projectiles to land, J-Bridge. It is slow. because they're falling slowly. And as long as I'm not doing anything else, I'm just waiting on my damage every time. It's also faster against enemies that shoot at me because they can short fuse themselves off of my Beskar. Post the Havix in your Discord. Thank you, sir. Yeah, that was a 14 mil short fuse from the enemy shooting me. Bullet mechanics. What do we have to think for this? I was sent the mod by Mr. Sean, so he would know. I don't know if he wrote it, but he provided it for me, so I have him to thank. Modified Lone Master, no shooting star picks to do this. I made it from scratch myself though, so it's both of us. There you go. Lone and Stone. Doing what they always do. Seriously, those two have contributed a lot to the theory crafting scene. Like, a lot. Reminder that Lone Masterino is the reason why we no longer think the wedding invitation is bad. Because it has a hidden effect that he was like, oh, you guys didn't know it could do that? And then we had lost our collective shit. Like, wait, it does what? Green Monster, you're getting the corrosive damage with it. Only procs and trigger pull. So Green Monster, the way it works, Renegade, is it both stacks and resets on trigger pull. It doesn't track trigger release, it doesn't track trigger held, it's trigger pull. So if I shoot my Guardian Angel upon spawning in once, and then never shoot it again, or switch away from it, the bonus is just stacking up. So not only do I have that corrosive damage, but since Green Monster also has Blastmaster's splash damage baked in, I get that too. And it rolls Scorching RPMs, so I get the crit damage and action skill damage from that as well. Wedding Invitation, good, been gone too long. Yeah, this was a discovery, I think, was this last year? Time is weird. This was either early this year or late last year. Yeah, Wedding Invitation applies a stacking debuff, making the target you hit with the explosions or ricochets take more damage from cryo and fire, stacking up to 3 times. And this is why it was so crazy back when we had the bonus projectile engine quirk from bonus elements, because not only were we getting the extra hits, which is obviously good, but the debuff was stacking instantly. Instead of having to shoot things multiple times, you could shoot once and then you'd have those bonus instances piggybacking. So the first 3 instances would apply the debuff, but you'd have like five, six, seven, eight, 9 instances. So the other ones would all be benefiting from that. So that's why it was so crazy back then. But now that we know that that's what's happening, we just accept that it's a gun. You spam the trigger of a little bit to get the debuff, and then it starts popping off. Or you prioritize projectile effects even more so than you normally would for a single projectile sniper. So things like Infernal Wish, things like Two Fang, things like Playing Dirty. And yeah, it's really powerful. Also, that debuff is not just for the Wedding Invitation's damage. It is a cryo and fire debuff for any damage of those elements received by the enemy. It's a short duration, but you could theoretically like shoot something with a Wedding Invitation to make them take more damage from your Unleash the Dragon. Like, that's a thing. The list of legitimately bad things in the game is way smaller than most realize. Oh, yeah. Like, even of the things that I would label bad or subpar, such as in the, that breakdown we did a little while ago, the revisited manufacturer balance thing across unique guns, I would still say of those that didn't make the cut, a minority are actually worthless. Like, there's lots of underwhelming stuff, or stuff that I would rank or tier low that still has some sort of use. It's genuinely difficult to find anything that's useless in this game. You'd have to get to, like, cataclysmic levels of shit, like the Rectifier, to truly be useless. Yeah, same brain cell, J-Bridge. Yeah, you could use Wedding Invitation above Hot Drop. You absolutely could. Honestly, if I was doing this on Flak, I think I would. Like, go for either Fadeaway or, Megavore, just, like, body shots with the Wedding Invitation, and then switch to GA and do the slam. Carbuncle. I was talking about the Carbuncle yesterday, day before, Subsy. It was some point this week. But yeah, I told people to respect the Carbuncle. I thought of you. I miss reckless consumption of carbs. Blame your uncle. Oh. You see that chunk disappear? That one groundbreaker. That was the fireballs. I just need to actually land it. Because they're slow. They're slow, but the damage is there. I should do the fight as intended and not do the speedrun strat, because then I can do that. The radius is funny. Still my favorite boss music. It's just so crunchy. Why did that hit? What is Torgrot's promotion, man? Another reason I think this would be really interesting on Amara, now that I think about it, is Clear the Mind. Of course, making fire not a terrible matchup against shields and armor. You wouldn't get like the green monster bonus element, but you also wouldn't need it. Game's not super happy with the VFX. It's a little choppy when I slam too quickly. I think maybe a rad damage passive on the artifact rather than one of the move speed passives would be, like, optimal, but meh. I like moving fast. Another avenue here is definitely foregoing Green Monster and going with Bloodletter so that you could run Mana Wall effectively. You'd get more tank than Beskar in non-projectile situations. You'd get that bonus element. So instead of the Green Monster bonus element, you'd have the Mana Wall one. Then you have the flexibility of the Mana Wall parts. And you wouldn't be forced to just hold the GA and do nothing with your gun slot. You could like swap weapons situationally. You could shoot, etc. Bugs in my Skyrim? Replace Skyrim with Fallout or Starfield as needed. Like, me doing that swap there means I need to reset my Green Monster. Bugs are a feature. The primary feature. hot drop with green monster is just like the perfect coverage for necrobugs. It's kind of crazy. Like, that was a juicy one. We're playing Jiro Ball. Science in 2023? What are we sciencing? Hot drop stuff, Amber. We got a mod that makes it so the hot drop projectiles don't fizzle out before they can hit the ground in low grav areas. So we're seeing for the first time what hot drop would look like in GPD. And yeah, it's toxic. It's abusive. It is rude. Relic is that? This is the hot drop. Completely forgot it exists. We need to put more respect on the hot drop's name. It is relative in power to the likes of the spark plug, which, if you don't know, spark plug is one of the most powerful things in the game. It's just got a few more upsides when compared to hot drop, such as it being lingering damage, it going through walls, it not being messed with by gravity, it being able to crit consistently, and it having a better elemental matchup into, like, more endgame content. But in content where you can get hot drops fireballs to land, it's incredibly good. This mod to other weapons not get affected by low gravity, it's just hot drop. This is the only things included in the hotfix for this mod are the shooting star shield and the hot drop artifact. That's it. For crystals, we just do typical Hunter Seeker Moze shit. No! I had too much movement speed to do typical Hunter Seeker Moze shit. Let this be a lesson. Shooting star any good when it works? With investment, yes. With investment, it can be. The thing is, it inhabits a weird area of, like, what you have to do to get it online is gonna boost other stuff better. But it's fun and interesting. Chance to sure run with it. I don't have a setup currently put together for it right now, so it wouldn't be a good showcase, but, like, remind me another day. But essentially you do Kensei stuff. Kensei shooting star. I'm sure Mr. Sean has a setup. Yeah, GA Kensei shooting star. There you go. Barbie doll. I love that build name. I forgot how aggressively absurd peak Hunter Seeker Moze is during crystals. It's very free. Gun game, by the way. Now, if people said it was a bullet game, maybe they'd be right. Shooting in my gun game? Doubtful. How you doing, Abby? I'm avoiding throwing a Hunter Seeker because it's the last one, and I don't trust myself not to blow myself up. That's restraint, most players. That's restraint. Doing good? Hey, glad to hear. City's on a boil water order because one of the city mains broke. Fucking hell, man. Ugh. Sorry to hear. Hope they resolve that soon. I should really max out that melee damage passive eventually. Oh yeah, yeah. Green Monster Hunter Seeker versus Scourge, right? I forgot. Yeah, that's my bad. I gotta actually hot drop him on the next cycle. Because unlike the Spark Plug, to my knowledge, hot drop doesn't cause any issues here. They wanted most gamers to show restraint. Maybe they should have made her less ridiculous. 10 out of 10 gamer logic, sir. Not that we'd know. Yeah, we would have no way of knowing, but based on what we know about how Spark Plug's hitboxes work, it'd be weird if Hot Drop did anything weird to him. I guess we can find out now. Come on. There we go. I wanted the big boom. The neuron activation. The fireballs are very slow. Yeah, that's kind of what I expected, fire on armor. I was hoping for a little more from the green monster bonus element, though. I guess this is a spot where Terra Cryo would comfortably beat out Urad. It's not like I really need the rad explosions for clear. I just like hearing them. It's a great sound. You're a great sound. But like, actually. Got him. Complimented. Hunter Seeker, why did you... Of all the enemies you could have picked, you picked that one? AI moment. Terra Cryo and Manowell. Yeah. I suppose the big thing there would be I would either have to slam a little more sparingly and play around, cycling my shield organically, or I would have to switch from Green Monster to Bloodletter. They just not tracking this one? There we go. And with Terra Cryo, I guess I just use my shield slot for Terra Gen. Wouldn't be a big deal. I'm curious to see what you do with Amara with this, Mr. Sean. Can't get a stream in. Pause champ? I really like the idea of, clear the mind. Makes this, interesting. I'm trying to think what else you would do there. I mean, organically, I guess phase slam stuff. There's always Tandava. There's always Tandava. I guess you could even phase flare, because single target would be where, or hot drop. That's the least. Yeah, you'd have a lot of options. And we'll Terror Cry Bloodletter for GTD. Yeah, I would have to overcome that that tiny part of my brain that screams at me whenever I have Bloodletter and I'm ground slamming on Moze to just use Spark Plug, because, you know, the snowshoe thing. Stop. They give it 25 months. That's another Mal one. Whole rotisserie chicken. I think I'm hungry because that sounds good.
She's just a girl and she's on fire. There you go, Quack.
I just ate a whole rotisserie chicken to the face. I'm app greased up and ready to rumble.
Thank you so much, Thumb. How you be? I'd be good. I'd be good. Messing about with Hot Drop today. A chill week of BL3, still somehow managing to teach new things. 4 years in. 4 years. Craziness. Who is following me? Oh, your gun is just really loud. Sounded like it was close. It wasn't. Messed around a few days ago with low level amp shields, low loader Moze health regen. It's pretty funny to be honest. Tried using loaded dice, do some glass tanks. I thought, fortunately, Moze doesn't really have enough health regenerator trees to get me above health gate in a reasonable time. Moze is a lot of health regen though. It's just, if you're doing Bloodletter, that eliminates the need to do the glass part, is the thing. Like with 5 biofuel, 1 redistribution, that alone is a lot of health regen. You could go further in with stuff like Vampire, of course. Obviously Russian offensive is in play, and it's the optimal way, but yeah, shooting star is silly. It's a lot of fun. Of course, we got the snowshoe. Do I have one on me? I do. Okay. Frames drop in half every time I hit someone with it. It's one of those items I am convinced they just forgot about. Skip out on loaded dice? Yeah, because think about it. If you're doing the Russian offensive stuff, 8% lifesteal. It doesn't matter if your shield bar is 10 or a million at that point. 8% of your damage as Moze in BL3's endgame. And it's off of everything. It's off of your dot picks, your grenades, your bullets, everything you do that is connected to your formula will trigger this. So like 1 instance of damage fully fills your shield. And that's just Russian offensive. If you're not keen on sprinting for a couple frames, redistribution, biofuel, and then you do have the flat regen passives on artifact class mod if you really want to go in extra hard. You have various health regen annoyance, although you know mileage may vary depending on annoyance. Some of them do properly get converted by Bloodletter, some don't. Somewhere we have a list of what's Bloodletter friendly and what isn't. But yeah, both loaded dice and the shield being low level are unnecessary. A lot of the low level shield stuff that people did with Moze comes from not moving past the era where that was more necessary, which was back towards launch when Russian Offensive didn't have its lifesteal. Like, that didn't happen until March or April of 2020. So we had 5-6 months of that not being available in that way. So in that time, where player damage was also lower, yeah. You needed to lower your shield to get a little more consistency. That was also when we had fewer shield options. And we did, as a player base, simply no less. It's interesting, but I think Moze is the character that suffered the most from the volatility of early theory crafting. Because there was a lot of Moze misinfo spread. A lot. And at least off the top of my head, I can't think of another character that has that misinfo still so ingrained. That she suffered the most. Nice. Russian offensive healing just feels clunky to me for some reason. Just really don't like using it. It depends on personal preference, yeah. For me, I'm just kind of used to it. It's just you sprint for like literally a couple frames whenever you're not doing anything else, and if you ever sprint around in combat, naturally, then you're just benefiting. But if you don't, then I could see it being clunky. Which is why it's a good thing that you don't have to go that route for Bloodletter Sustain. There's plenty of other ways. All the VHs still have some widespread misinfo about them. Crit Fla, my beloved. Most seems worse in that regard. The thing with the whole Crit Fla thing is it's like... I'm not gonna say it's harmless, but it's more of a stripe where it's not... Like, you can squint and have that not be wrong. Right? Sure, saying, hey, this is a crit build. Okay, everybody crits. That pokes the hole immediately, but it's not wrong in the sense that you do see the word critical pop up on your screen more than other builds. Like, I get it. It's not as bullheaded and annoying as the people who were like, yeah, short fuse is bad. Max out your green tree. Because the ammo regen is good. And it's like, okay, Forge is one of the least valuable capstones in the game, in competition for least valuable, because 5% ammo regen for 26 skill points is terrible. It's terrible. It's bad. It's trash. Because you get 5% for 6 skill points. You get 5% for having a super soldier on. You get 30% from a Xananoid. You get, what, 10, 15% from Terranoid? Like, it's bad. And Short Fuse is the biggest single shot, single target damage multiplier available for guns. It's the biggest. Take the mayhem scaling away from this shit, doesn't matter. Still the biggest. Maybe a racer takes the crown in the appropriate hitbox scenario, but like it's still the biggest. Short Fuse is fundamentally broken and has been from launch. Moze has been the one-shot queen from launch, day one of the game. She always did the most, but a lot of the early theory had people actively avoid this skill. Same thing as the downplaying of grenades. Launch Hex was powerful enough that people couldn't ignore it, but as soon as Hex got gutted, people started saying grenades bad. I'm like, no, hang on. Like, in that same month, they buffed Hunter Seeker like twice. That's when people pivoted to cloning Maddening Tracker, which was actually a good damage dealing option back then. You know, we got Gas Call then too. Other stuff like the heavy emphasis on, oh, you gotta stack as much shield as possible on Moze. Shield capacity is one of the worst defensive stats in this game. Always has been. But early Moze misinfo. Mr. David Bowling, you were alive? Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it, sir. How you doing? How was stream? Playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel? Based. You have a good time? I am my real life friend, BRB. It sounds good. You do you. I appreciate you. Did have a good time? Glad to hear it. Gas Call was pretty understood as being powerful back then, if I recall correctly. Just when the events came back, people started downplaying from my experience. I remember very vividly that people were adamant it was bad because it couldn't be anointed. like during the first Bloody Harvest event. And this is interesting because that was at a time where there were no damage anoints for the grenade slot. You remember that too, Abby? Okay. Come on. Actually crit. Never punished. Wasn't that before grenade anoints even existed? It's before offensive ones existed, Taser Cow. Yeah. At launch, the grenade anoints were, you know, the Iron Bear throw one, and you had action skill start, gain a grenade. That's it. It's just those. It wasn't until the Mayhem 4 patch that introduced Maliwan Takedown as well, where we got the ASC 50s, we got OGT. ASA 150 was cartels, wasn't it? So like, yeah. Cycle changes this game. I don't know how any of you remember it all. I remember a lot of it because it was this big hype thing every week for the theory crafting community. Just a new update would drop, we would go absolutely crazy on patch day, like getting a voice call and just crunch everything. And after they stopped being transparent in patch notes due to people complaining about non-existent nerfs all the time, a lot of the updates required waiting for data miners to get us the actual numbers on things. So that made it memorable as well. Back in my day, Zane was average at best. The launch days, yep. It's interesting. When Zane was at his weakest, it was also when everyone had the least need for damage. He was still fully viable, it's just, yeah, he also did the least damage. Kind of like how Amara being generally the lowest single target now doesn't mean anything because she still got more than the content requires by like a lot. Remember when Mayhem 3 modifiers would stack in a way that ended you negative 125% weapon damage? Oh, those Mayhem 3 modifiers were so wild. You could just load in and it's like, yeah, minus 70% pistol damage, minus 50% to the exact element you're running. Also, your crits are weaker. Like, alright. Alright, guy. Cool. Really do hope they go back to giving us exact percentage in patches. It's one of those things that I don't know if it's sustainable because the desire to complain about changes is so strong, especially in looter player bases, but then within that, within the Borderlands fandom, the desire to complain about changes is so strong that you can't do anything to stop it. Like when there was high transparency with hotfix and patch notes early in BL3's life, all people did was complain that everything was getting nerfed, despite the fact, and Seraphaz has recently had to repost the detailed stat breakdown they did of buffs versus nerfs through BL3's whole life, it was never ever the case that they nerfed more than they buffed. Never, literally never at any point in the game's life. Yet it is commonly held as fact that, oh yeah, they were doing nothing but nerfs first 2 months. No, it never happened. It's not true. And that's with people seeing the numbers in the notes every week. So, of course, scaling back to more vague wording just kind of makes sense. You catch less heat. I don't like it from the perspective of a player and a theory crafter. But let me actually restart my game here. No numbers were nerfed. Like it's to the point where people got mad over buffs for being nerfs. There was a note that said one update that Remnant was being adjusted, and YouTubers put out thumbnails and titles calling it the Nerf Apocalypse. You know what they actually did with that update? They increased its mayhem scaling from ×7 to ×31. Nerf Apocalypse, though. Restarting my game so that I don't have the hot drop mod active anymore. Respond to something too. Change my title. Okay. Look, Nerfs made this game literally unplayable. It just doesn't work. It doesn't launch. You consider they nerfed the amount of bugs in the game? They also buffed the amount of bugs in the game. It was a back and forth thing. And they created a graphic that showed the comparison of nerfs buffs. They did. Ow. That's loud. I've muted for you guys, but ow. Ow. Ow, why is that loud too? A build that was built around an exploit is dead. Yeah, that never happened either. This is a funny thing. Like the biggest balancing outrage points that people have about this game, the majority of them never fucking happened. It's crazy. People be like, "Oh yeah, the Amara nerfs killed my build." Specify, and they can't. Commitment cap killed Zane. Bro, what? How much is each stack for the wedding invitation debuff? I don't actually remember offhand, Renegade. I'm sure that's posted somewhere in the Discord. All I remember is that they're different. One is bigger than the other. Don't remember the values offhand. remember being so fucking annoyed at Commitment being uncapped to launch a purple tree. It made me play Zane less than at any other point in the game's life. That window of time where Commitment was uncapped was where Zane was at his least enjoyable for me. Because, like, Commitment with a cap is still one of the largest number skills in the game, and it provides two super important stats at no opportunity cost whatsoever. Like, it's still overpowered right now. Not balanced, overpowered. At 2. And people are running around with 150 talking about how great their builds were. Like, I'm sorry, no. Actually, I'm not sorry. It was stupid. I hated it. Alright, run to the bathroom real quick. BRB. Okay, be back. Um, debuff for cryo and fire only. I hear more Moze shenanigans. Yeah, yeah. Crazy. We're still finding new mechanics in this game. It's the depth is insane. Like, new discoveries constantly every few months for 4 years. This game just has a lot to give. Filter wise for this, I was thinking about dropping 1 point there. Going to admin would be wasteful because I have do harm. I could maybe justify an alacrity point. I just have to be really, really careful with reload canceling. Like, really careful. I want to try it. This is also partially because I do want to be a tiny bit slower. Hey, Architect, how you doing? Good to see you. Alacrity over Restless. So yeah, I moved a different point than I intended to move. But that kind of works. I have a floater. In terms of overall damage increase, I just go with Animo for consistency. Home from work and doing good, and glad to hear. Gotta get ready for work. Good talking as always. Quag and chat, stay beautiful. Always happy to have you, son. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a good day. Issue I'm fine with shooting stars because of the delay of it and end up killing the enemies faster than I can nuke them. Yep, BL3 damage issue. It's one of those things would really shine if enemies had more health. So maybe with increased health mods, because you're already using a mod to make shooting star work, right? Do like a double enemy health mod or some such. Sorry, I'm staring at a skill tree. I'm just debating whether I want more damage, more utility, or more comfort. I could be extra silly. Double down here. Would not be in my best interest. I'll do Animo before I do something stupid. You're convinced Root to Rise would be annoying? Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Because it also gives me, in the worst case scenario, it gives me a larger health bar of buffer, like where my dot's ticking on me, for me to get to a combat where I can hit an enemy. It's logical. Hey, Atris, good to see you. How are you? Okay. Light sensitivity warning. Not the action skill bug. The avatar bug in this instance. That was a good pace, and I got the tutorial crystals. Cringe. I can go back to moving a little more aggressively now that I'm down to 2 vigor rather than 3, though. I didn't like running with 3. There is such a thing as too much movement speed. Yeah, I gotta be really careful with those reload cancels. Alacrity makes it awkward. Okay, here's the problem with that anima point. I hit myself really hard now. That's a fresh multiplier for my dots. including against me. It was really nice not having it. I just need to limit how much I'm holding my Guardian Angel. Okay, just jump through the wall then. That's cool. Guardian was a siren. Not only that, it was supposed to be the Firehawk. Fun little bit of trivia for you. Supposed to run towards the crystals, uh-huh. I kind of worry about the impact of this extra anima damage during crystals too, to be honest. Where incoming damage is already high enough that I'm worried. I don't need to be hurting myself more. I do like this increased alacrity, though. Feeling pretty nice. Until it screws me, which it's going to eventually. But until then, I'll enjoy it. Maybe after this run I'll even pull the anima point for another alacrity point and be extra greedy. That was just a skill issue. Hey, Sora. I guess the alacrity point also helps my face puncher use by a pretty good margin. Eight, 10. Not bad. Hope we're doing good. I can't complain. Hope you are too. That straggler actually fucked me. And now I gotta do weird shit. Oh, that's a shame. I lost like 10 seconds to a straggler plus bad aim. I wasn't happy with the pace anyway. I hit a bump instead of actually jumping. But yeah, let's change that up. So losing that anima point will mean there's like 2-3 non-combat sections of the takedown where I won't have my self-dot on for as long, which means I'll have fewer mindfulness stacks. But taking less damage constantly and then having a little bit more reload speed, I think might end up being worth it. The difference one skill point can make. Look at me, back in my time trials bullshit. Like that pace. Come on, man. Come on, man. Yeah, yeah. That was a good room one. What's sad about it? I was thinking about anoints as well. It's like since I switched to Vic Rush, I have V1 in my formula now. Not much, but it's there. And if I fire a couple face puncher shots, I could be hovering at like 22 V1, right? That's like half of what I get from this anoint max. However, frees up the slot. I get less proportionally out of that anoint now that I have Victory Rush. Problem is there's holes in Vic Rush uptime, and do I get anything more could move my ASE rad to my grenade and then run ASE move speed shield. Or I could go action skill start Nova. Nova wouldn't be bad. It'd just be an additional damage outlet. I'll give it some more thought. That one not dying was toxic. Again, man? Really? I'm not as upset as I could be, because I want to get better room 1 times anyway. It's a Kevin. When the design team thought that rock was a good idea, I just want to talk. It makes sense as a, hey, slow down and take in your surroundings thing, but from a, I'm trying to just go fast perspective, it's annoying. Company I'm interviewing with is the wildest PTO I've heard of. Starts at 16 days, go up to 20 at 5 years. Anything over 80 hours can be cashed out. Total of 320 states total. I've spent enough time working non-traditional jobs that I actually have no concept of healthy PTO. Someone help me here. I need a frame of reference. Acceptable. Most of their jobs cap 20 hours, can't cash anything out. I see. Need this fucking diadem to, like... Whatever, man. AI moment. Let's run that back. Enjoy your lurk, Amber. I'm be sitting here with 18 days off this year. See, my work experience is either 0 PTO or I decide how much I get. But, you know, it's this, so I know stream, I know get new people. Worked at my company for almost 13 years and I get 15 days. Seems like a good gig on your end then, Loki Legend. It's not PTO if you don't get the P. Well, technically I can still get the P because... Yeah, get the P. Because, like, recurring subscriptions. So depending on the day, I still technically get paid. But, yeah. That's gonna cost me a lot. Why am I just barely missing kills? I like a tiny bit. Whatever. I fucking swear, man. What is it with the pillar today? What is it with my timing where I just keep hitting it? Oh boy. We'll say where some companies lump vacation and sick days together, mine does not, so I suppose with that in mind I get 21 years. We accrue half a day per month. That's something. Certainly some made-up physics there. All physics are made up. The only thing I need is freedom. Hey, Kona. Especially freedom to oppress. Hell yeah, brother. It's my freedom of speech. Tell you, you don't have freedom of speech. Freedom way, Mike. Run around, make everyone else feel unsafe. You guys see the, it actually happened in my state this week. But, a woman went into a police station and just started blasting. Think she was Terminator? Something like that. Too much movement speed. I'm gonna reset this just because I'm bouncing around too much. That was a bad start. Main character syndrome goes too far. It, of course, sparked, you know, certain other conversations when she was restrained unharmed. Brings up the obligatory guess what she looked like. Yes, you're correct. Murica. Oh, nice. Perfect. Yep. One of those situations, you know? I reset. I'm not satisfied with that. Next, shoot him, talk him down. Well, depends. You know, they gotta hold up the graph next to you and see if you get a bullet or not. You better watch your tone gets a second meaning. Dark. But real. Oh, that's fucked. That's still shit for this room, but clearly I'm not getting any faster right now. And I want to practice the later sections. One of those days where getting a run going is proving to be difficult. Too much speed again. How many fucking diadems did I get? Is that a 3? You gave me 3? What else is shitty news lately? We could complain about together. Oh yeah, Apartheid Elmo is rolling out paying for Twitter. They're running a test in I think the Philippines right now, in one other location where new accounts have to pay $1 to be able to tweet, like $1 annual fee. It's currently a test. The stated logic being that this makes botting, like, it discourages botting, but the problem with that logic is that most bots are already verified at the $8 price point, so you're actually making it easier by making it so they only have to pay $1. So, like, the bots of Twitter glue. Yeah. Do we think scammers, people who are doing it for the money, are not going to invest money to pump their place in the algorithm? Like, being able to pay for an algo boost made botting easier and, like, better. It's very straightforward, but... You know, the point is the death of the platform, and squeezing a little bit of money out along the way. I'll possess someone to join Twitter now. Unfortunately, there's still no viable equivalent. Even with Twitter having lost features recently, like, you can't see headlines of articles anymore. You have to click on them. Now, there's long been an argument that one of the reasons the most divorced man alive decided to make Twitter his personal dumpster fire, one of the reasons was to undercut its ability to counter disinformation campaigns and to shut off its ability to help social organizing. Which is why forcing people to pay to beat the algorithm, and making it so people do not get proper context of things that are in their feed makes sense. Like, don't get me wrong, dude's a fucking idiot. But a lot of this shit serves a common goal. Spawns are acting weird. I think I need a fresh instance. Ow. YouTubers, ad blockers, can't really blame them. I think we can still complain. We can complain about the optics of what YouTube is prioritizing right now. They're waging their war against ad blockers and posting horribly timed memes about React content. When one of their largest creators, who could be called one of the faces of their platform, doxed one of their other creators for calling out her content theft. And then YouTube not only made no comment on the situation, they quietly changed their terms of service to make it so things that happen off platform are not TOS violations. So they don't have to act against this particular cash cow. The fact that she literally showed up to this dude's house and doxed them to an audience of 35 million. And of course, you have the usual brain rot of people being like, "Oh, it's not illegal. People are overreacting." No, no, there's literally a specific law. In that state, just it's a shit show. The way to get a shower would I walk back to? We're just talking current events, talking about the state of YouTube at the moment. YouTuber Jax Films recently got doxxed by YouTuber Sniper Wolf because he's been a vocal critic of her being a content thief, taking the work of smaller creators, cropping out their usernames and such, and just sitting there reacting to it. So she showed up at his house, took a picture, posted it online. And YouTube has decided to actively do nothing about it. Because it would harm their bottom line. Despite the fact that, one, that's illegal on Sniper Wolf's part. And two, Jax Films has been making content on their platform for 17 years. Oh, and another thing being circulated is, oh, well, it's not like anything that's gonna come of this. People saying there's danger here or overreacting. One, the person who did the doxing literally has a record of violent crime. She did time for armed robbery. Also charged with assault. And the number of instances of content creators being wadded or stalked is an alarmingly large number per year. So, like... And it's very black and white. This happened while the dude was streaming. Like, the people he was in the call with had to tell him that it happened. Like, his wife posted on Twitter, adding YouTube and explaining, hey, so, like, this affects me and I'm not on your platform. Are you gonna do anything about this? And they just ignored it. But you know, ad blocker's bad, right? That shit you're hoping some nut job does it for you. Oh, exactly. Like, that is the intent. Like, in what universe is showing up to someone's home uninvited and surprising them with the news that you're there anything other than a threat? Like, and doing it publicly to an audience of literally millions of impressionable people who will take the hint. Like, at first, the discourse around, you know, the back and forth between this dude calling out a content thief and said content thief getting preferential treatment by the platform. At first, it was just about that, but now, like, this is the kind of shit that could get somebody killed. It's actually an unwelcome combo breaker reset, because I used my cooldown to kind of track a couple things there. Like how far away I need to be. so privileged a Moze player that he hates when Amara gets free action skill. Yeah, it you know, it gets in the way sometimes. It'd be really nice if Amara just had worse cooldown. Anyone with me? It's all over when I learn how to aim. Y'all better watch out. Things will be different. Chicken my Samsara. Based on YouTube's track record, the other person got demonetized and shut down, no recourse. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's a pretty good watch from last year. YouTuber by the name of Corey Kenshin, who just in the wake of him just getting some uneven treatment on like age restriction on some videos and stuff, he decided to kind of do a sort of expose on like YouTube's history of favoritism based on various things, but he highlighted one of the big things was race, because, you know, he's black, and of course, because this is the world we live in, that closes more doors for you than it opens. But that's not the only parameter by which people who work over at YouTube sort how they treat different channels. Obviously, it's channel size. And then there's some individual case by case, hey, I happen to like you better type deals. But it's very rampant, and it's the kind of thing that continues because it's not highlighted and talked about by people who do have the platforms to expose that. Now some do talk about it. For example, Markiplier has talked about it a little bit. Good on him. Always love to see people with a sizable platform taking an interest in things that affect people smaller than them. But yeah. You know, it applies to all these platforms. YouTube, Twitch, the money laundering one. Treatment is not equal. mechanically, that room felt good, even though I'm behind schedule. Yeah, that's ideal. I had my my driver dot active for that slide. Did I somehow manage to miss all of those fish? I totally did. That's impressive. Like, I'm not even mad. I'm just different. What? I hate that. Dude got that gap. Scourge and his thigh gap. It's not fair. Scourge is the ideal femboy. It's not fair. How am I supposed to speedrun when I'm distracted by him? Like, look at that thing. Look at that thing hang. Look at that dangler. And also he's got the thigh gap? Genuinely frustrating. What a time to join. No time like the present, vocal. Society, their unrealistic expectations. It's really gotten out of hand this time. See, that's ideal. I just needed to aim for the bigger target. His massive swinging alien robot cock. Okay, it's a complete run. There were some pieces of that run that I think went really well. Some didn't. Seems like every week there's another scandal or something that involves lining the pockets of the more fortunate at the expense of smaller creators. Hard to get weight behind a cause because it's overshadowed by the next event. Well, right. It's the same with any sort of power structure like that Loki legend. Things only change if the people who are beneficiaries of the problem decide to call it out, right? Like, the only things that talk are money and people who were getting the preferential treatment. So, like, what do you do about it? You try to do something like what Jack's Films did and help out smaller creators and then get fucking doxxed for it. Yeah, it goes way beyond content creation. You could apply that to anything. The whole story is so wild. It's insane. It's it gets crazier the more you read. And also because we live in the information age, there's a clip for everything. There's a video for everything. BRB. I gotta run to the bathroom real quick. Okay, I'm back. What'd I miss? Trying to keep the scope narrow and not drag other issues in. Yeah, that's thoughtful. There's certainly a lot going on that yeah, maybe people are looking for some escapism from. Sometimes it's nice to keep the topics to more neutral things. I get you. Good looking out. Now the writer strike's over, late night TV's back, struck by how little I care now, I used to watch clips all the time. Yeah, it was one of my favorite things, I was in college. That back-to-back of Daily Show, Colbert Report. That was always fun. But like the genre as a whole for me now is just like, eh. Like, it's not that I find them all unfunny. Just that I don't have a vested interest. Except Jordan Klepper. Jordan Klepper is always funny. I do stop to watch those clips from when he's doing Daily Show stuff. I fucked up bad there. Greed will do that to you. Try to help the homies get their bag, try not to be too apathetic about all of it. That says a lot, because, like, it's very easy to slip into apathy with... Like, here in 2023, we have a lot of access to information about complex, hopeless situations we have very little personal power to change. And it's easy to drown in that, but, like, it's important to remember that remaining educated on these situations, supporting each other through them, is a useful tool for just living. You know, feeling less alone, etc. Develop better habits, coping mechanisms, etc. Or even just venting. Don't be apathetic. Maintain your sense of empathy. It's important. It's rare. Hey, Viper. Good to see you. How are you? Okay, too many games to play. I feel that. How you? I'm okay too. We've been tinkering with this setup made some optimizations. I just haven't been able to get a super solid run today. But if I grind it out, you know, sub 17 Guardian takedown on Amara is on the table. It's in spitting distance. Like, we're now using Terror Health Regen to heal, but only on our EMP5. So, aggressive weapon juggling. Going more reload speed for faster Pestilence cancels, but it also reduces my timing window to the point where if I mess up a reload, the run dies, a la Lucky 7. Like, I almost did it there, because I wasn't paying attention. $8.18. Yeah, that's a slow one. But I need practice in the second half, so we play this out. Old Tiger of Farthalli, yes sir. Did a little hot drop Moze earlier today as well. Mr. Sean made a mod allowing hot drops projectiles to last a little bit longer, which means that they function in Guardian Takedown. They don't fizzle out or hitting the ground. Yeah, sorry, thought drop. I'm the thought, and I'm dropping. Slay. they were staggering their attacks just in the worst possible way for me. Oh, I didn't think that mantle would work. Wild. Floor is covered in moose droppings. Technically the truth? Ooh, that was pretty close to optimal. No, not the thigh gap again. Scourge, please. I somehow forgot about the thigh gap. Again. And toss some nades pass through the gap. It's unfair. Unfortunate. Not sure why I didn't have the damage there. Yeah, it's something I want to practice with this is, saving a diadem like this consistently. Because it's slightly faster. Just that requires me to detonate 3 on the other cycles. Finally kick Starfield with curve on the Cyberpunk. Very nice. Spider-Man is out tomorrow. Alan Wake 2 is out next week. I might have some decent options to try to shove into the rotation. I'm still playing entirely too much Baldur's Gate 3. Started an off-stream Cyberpunk playthrough. I'm doing net running. Which is, still very, very strong. I'm trying to force myself to not just overclock and click short circuit 3 times. It's tough. The opposite of a bonk. I don't know. Oh yeah, I never stopped my timer. It was a bad run anyway, so. Short circuit's still OP. Yeah. And like being able to turn health into RAM means you can just one button even harder. I guess it's 2 buttons now, but it's like just short circuit everything. Haven't finished Cyberpunk yet. Still need to play more. Mortal Kombat 1, new Warframe update just dropped, and Spoodermans. Yeah, for people who were into that, new Diablo season. Oh, at current pace, it might be a game worth playing in a couple years. Maybe. Oh yeah, Remnant 2 patch soon, probably. Because Tragic has been teasing that. Cyberpunk, BG3, too much Dota 2. Never got into Dota, but yeah, we're on the same page with the other games. Trying to get some info on if people actually like the new season, not enough people are still playing. From what Chadley told me, there's been some improvements. There's some fun new little things. But at the end of the day, the leveling process is still awful, and there's still no endgame. So, like, a lot of the stuff that was changed is just quality of life. I'll have to keep trying with the spec. It's weird. I can't figure out if it's slower or not. Because, like, obviously I'm physically faster with the 3rd point in vigor. And with perfect play, that's optimal. But I don't play perfectly. Maybe 3 vigor, 1 alacrity. It's more optimal. I don't know. Yes, the gems crafting resources is good, but ultimately not moving the needle right. Like, if going back to the game would just be me doing the same things I already did and getting to the same point of why am I doing this anymore, just with slight minor frustrations smoothed out, and like, it's still not ready for me yet. Used to be an avid StarCraft player and quite a Blizzard fan. Gave up on them after Warcraft Reforged debacle. How the Mighty have fallen. Yeah, I grew up really liking Blizzard games. You know, I grew up with Diablo. A little bit of StarCraft. I was never huge into it, but you know, I played StarCraft 2's first 2 expansions a lot. When those came out. And Diablo 3 eventually got to the point where it's a really good game, in my opinion, you know, for the kinds of things I like. But then between the Activision Blizzard era of just being terrible human beings, and then their business practices when it comes to Overwatch, when it comes to Diablo, and their design philosophy when it comes to Diablo, I'm just like, I can't really say I fuck with them anymore. especially the terrible human being bit. Would a belly button ring be a better investment? I think so, Don. Would you pierce my belly button if I asked you to? Be a homie? I wouldn't ask you to, because that sounds like it hurts. Spencer gotta have either the greatest comeback of all time or retire. Ugh. Playing season 2 as we speak feels better in season 1, but yeah, chances are if you bounce off in season 1 hard, would probably not be engrossed in season 2. So, like, I had plans. I bounced before season 1, and I had plans to sort of check out season 1, and it was so forgettable that I just completely forgot for the entirety of the season. Like, I didn't even think to play. It wasn't that I was avoiding, it's just it didn't cross my mind. And when the flagship IP of the ARPG genre is so forgettable that you don't even think to go back, I think you've created some issues. Like, that's not just, hey, I don't care for this game. That's, oh, yeah, that game's a thing. Totally different vibe. Anyway, I am gonna cook myself some food, so I think I'm gonna call it early again. We've been doing, like, shorter streams, because, uh, BL3 fries my eyes. But I'm okay with this stream length for the week. Get back to longer form stuff at some point. Most likely more BL3 tomorrow. Maybe mess around with more mods, maybe some more build stuff, maybe some more time trial stuff. We'll see what happens. But I enjoy the conversations and the company. Y'all are awesome. I enjoy hanging out with you. You're great. Let's see. Lazy's doing Skyrim. I'll go over there. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow, or when I see you. And, have fun. Be safe. It's scary out there. Take care of each other.